Gotta make another video. It's been a while since I made a video. I gotta make another video.
Now it's time to make the video!
Yeah!
I know that was cheap and lazy, but when push comes to shove, you need to be as cheap and lazy as possible to get the review done. Now on to the review! Woo! Pepsi Max. Get it at stores now. Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done a new movie review, but since the school weeks off are here for Christmas, I can finally try to get some more movie reviews done. So to start off with my fully on return, I'm here to review a new movie that came out, and this is one of the most enchanting movies I have ever seen in a while, because today I am here to do a review on the 2021 remake of the classic musical West Side Story. For those of you who don't know what West Side Story is about, it basically takes place where two rival teams of families and friends are going up against each other, including the Jets, who are disrespectful Americans, and the Sharks, who are poor Korean. They are going up against each other in a battle, and pretty soon they're going to do a rumble to decide who wins. We basically follow one Jet, named Tony, who ends up falling in love with a poor Korean girl from the Sharks named Maria, and then they go through the whole Romeo and Juliet phase where they form a romance with each other, but they are forbidden by their teams, and so this romance starts to make us question, are they going to stop this battle, or are they going to carry on this battle? Is it going to drift people apart? And mayhem, musical numbers, and some enchanting moments, but also sad moments ensues. Now, I was very interested in seeing West Side Story. The trailers made it look good. I do like a few musicals. In fact, I've been getting into musicals lately now again. So, in preparation for this movie, I watched the original West Side Story. Now, granted, in a few parts I was attached to my phone a little bit. My phone is still precious. I don't know why. But when I was watching the movie, I really liked it. I really liked the plot. I really liked the romance between Tony and Maria. And there were moments that made me go like, oh my god, is it going to be that scary? Oh, it's going to be depressing. Oh, but it's pretty enchanting. I like these kind of musical numbers of the time. So I did like West Side Story in the original. I've not really seen any version of the original show that was performed, but I have to say, I really love this film. This new remake is just spectacular. Like, when I went to go see it in the cinema, I was just like glued to the screen. Could not take my eyes off it. I couldn't stop listening to these music numbers and seeing what romance this is going on. And the plot was very interesting and exciting. This is one of the reasons why I got interested into these types of movies and musicals. And it's all thanks to this new remake of West Side Story. Without a shadow of a doubt, the best thing about this film, the one aspect that is the huge heart and soul of the movie, and I'm pretty sure it's the heart and soul of any version of West Side Story, is the beautiful, spectacular, romantic, and just downplay lovely romantic relationship between Tony and Maria. I loved this romance to death. It's one of the most splendid and beautiful romances I have ever seen in a movie. The way that they would interact with each other, how they would go out on outings with each other, how they talk about their own problems, but how they can solve problems together, and each character talking about what their experiences are in this battle, with Tony talking to Maria about a tragic thing that happened in his past, and Maria talking about how this war has ended in nothing but misery and harm, and she wants to end this battle. These two characters are very similar, but they do have different traits, just like I said, the way that they view on the world, and it just tugged at my heartstrings so many times. I also love their witty banter with each other, like the way that they would talk. They would come up with very quirky and charming and adorable moments with each other. And the dilemma that their relationship faces in the second half is just so questionable because you see their pain that they've been through, but at the same time you just want them to stay together. You want no matter what happens, you just want them to stay together no matter what. And even though these events do happen, you can still tell that they love each other and that they don't care what's going on. They just need to be with each other. They'll do whatever it takes to be with each other, and you can't help but stay on their side. And it's their relationship that carries the whole movie and makes it very enchanting and lovely at the same time. But I think it's all due down to the spectacular chemistry between the actors that their characters are played by, because both of their actors are also the most beautiful standout things about this movie. We got Ansel Elgort as Tony. He was fantastic, playing him with very witty charm, caring side with a bit of a sense of humor, but also we can see his more sadder, dramatic mode moments as he has a tragedy in his past and he tries to like ignore what other people saying it, and you do feel for this problem because of the war that goes through him, and that's what Ansel Elgort portrays. And my god, he has a fantastic singing voice. But the standout between the two, of course, is newcomer Rachel Zegler. She is fantastic as Maria. She is a new-time actor, and as her first ever movie, she's becoming one of Hollywood's biggest sweethearts and all that. Her Korean accent is fantastic, on point. You can buy it, and her singing voice is splendid. Like, you can tell that she has a lot of talent when singing her songs, but at the same time she's not just doing that, she's playing a character, and her character is that she's like the peacemaker in between the battle between the Jets and the Sharks, and you can tell that she wants to find a way to find peace with these wars, not just for Tony but for her family and Jets in general. Well, actually, maybe for Tony, because you can tell that they have excellent chemistry, and I thought she was splendid as this character. I cannot wait to see more with Rachel Zegler. She's going to be in the new Shazam movie, so it seems like she's going to have a big career coming our way. What a lovely and lucky lady you are, Rachel. That's the best part of this movie. The characters of Tony and Maria, their relationship, and the performances by Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler. I can't emphasize it enough, and each time that they're on screen, they're the best part of the film. When they're alone, they still have the most splendid moments in the entire movie. But what else do I like about the film? Well, the cinematography is splendid. The way that they shot over the city that they live in, the way that they shot the people dancing and all that. And can I just say how awesome the dancing is in this movie? Like, you would never see some sort of dance like this in 2021 or even over the 2020s, but they pull it off spectacularly, and you can tell that each actor is just bringing their A game into the dancing elements. I still have yet to see In the Heights, so I cannot wait to see that, see how the dancing is in there. But from West Side Story's viewpoint, this is a change of pace from most musicals I've ever seen, because it's just legendary that people in 2021, big name actors in 2021, are able to dance like they did in 1960s. Also, let's talk about the music, because just like the original show and the original movie, this movie is a musical. So the question is, what do I think of the songs? Well, they seem pretty catchy. They have their own unique style, whether it be dramatic or upbeat or just like curiosity and intrigue and all that. And they have excellent words and lyrics. And the actors and the singers do a fantastic job portraying these songs, especially the most famous song of all time, Tonight, where Tony is interacting with Maria as he looks at him through the building stairs into the moonlight. That song is just perfection, and it's all spectacularly done by the singers of Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler. Man, you can't just get that song out of your head. Well, actually, not by much, because I still have yet to remember all the lyrics, but that song is so good that after I finish filming this review, I might need to listen to that song again, because it can get catchy, and even if you can't like remember all the lyrics, the theme can still get in your head pretty much. So I've already talked about how awesome Tony and Maria are and their relationship, and how Ansel Elgort and Rachel Zegler are fantastic in the movie. But what do I think of the other cast members? Well, David Alvarez, I do hope that's how you pronounce his name, if not I apologize, as Maria's brother, though. He is fantastic because he's pretty much the protective, strongest person on the Korean side of the shark community, because he tries to protect his family, but at the same time he can be very rough and rude and abusive to them when he needs to be, because he's such a strong, determined man. And the actor portraying Bernardo is fantastic, portraying him as very strong and determined, and making him kind of creepy in a few parts. Like, when you see his dialogue and all his actions, you can tell that this is the guy you do not want to mess with at all. I also really liked Riff, played by Mike Feist, who is Tony's friend on the Jets side. He was very charming. He could come off as very rude and arrogant, but the fact that he has a very suave, Aladdin type side to him made us kind of like his character for how selfish it is. He's such a likable, selfish character that you can't help but root for him and all that. He can come off as very likable and charming, even when he is being a jerk to some people. And can I just say how awesome Anita is as a character? I mean, Ariana DeBose, wow. She does a fantastic job playing this character, because Anita is supposed to be like the loyal, protective person to Maria, and you can tell that she has the same feelings as Maria, because Anita wants to see things from Maria's point of view. She's trying to keep peace in her community and family and friends without them going off to fight the Jets and all that. But later on, as the film goes on, after all the pain and tragedy that she goes through later on, her conscience starts to click and all that, make her completely a 180 on what her character was before. And Ariana DeBose is fantastic portraying that, and her dance movements are just wow. I cannot keep my eyes off that dance movements. But speaking of Anita, the actor that connects this movie with the original one is actually Rita Moreno, the actress who actually played Anita in the original 1961 film, returns to play a character in this movie. Of course, she doesn't play Anita, but she plays Valentina, owner of a shop that Tony both works and lives at. She was fantastic because Valentina is like a mother figure to Tony, and after all the pain that he went through, he is trying to support him, but also make some grounded rules about how this battle between the Jets and the Sharks is portraying Tony. And you can tell that he cares about him so much, and her words mean a lot to his character, and she is fantastic once again. And one last character that I really liked in this movie is Chino. Now, I'm not really going to give anything away about this character, but can I just say that he's basically like Anita, because he starts off as a very likable character, but when crap hits the fan, his character starts to change, and he goes through even more pain and very mixed opinions, and you can't help but feel sorry for him. Just hits you right here. And lastly, there are so many standout moments in this movie. Two in particular. The first one, of course, is the Rumble scene. Everything about the Rumble scene was fantastic. Well, aside from the music choice, we'll get to that sooner, but almost everything about that scene was spectacular. It was mysterious, it was epic, it was very frightful in some parts, and it ends on such a fantastic note that really set off the whole dilemma for our characters. And the second part of the movie that had me gripped from start to finish, without giving away any spoilers, is the last 20 minutes. Everything about the last 20 minutes was fantastic. It really combinated everything that I said in this review that I loved in the film, and it really pays off throughout this remake, even though I knew how it was going to end because it was the same one as the original film. But everything that they did in this remake, well done. Well done on that climax. Now, it's pretty obvious from this review that you all know that I love West Side Story. In fact, I've made it plenty of times throughout this review, with a few stalls here and there. But I do have some grievances to share, as I do have a few little issues with this version of West Side Story, and it's mainly due on some technical aspects, but also a few writing choices. The first one is the pacing can get a bit rushed. And I know that's really hard to say considering it's a 2 hour and 30-minute movie, but there are a few points where it goes by fast. Now, on the one hand, for the most part, it's a good thing because I enjoyed the movie so much that it flied by because I was having so much fun. But I did notice that there were a few parts where they can get a bit too rushed. For example, whenever a scene tries to show an emotion on a character's face, it is very emotional, but it would have been more impactful if they focused the camera on them a bit longer. Like, they'll show a character about to get sad for 5 seconds, and then it'll be like this. It is impactful, but if they showed a bit more time on that face, then maybe it would have been a bit more impactful. And that's really shocking to me to say that, because this movie is supposed to be just as long as the original film. In fact, I think it's even supposed to be a little longer. You lying imbecile. And the last problem I did have with the movie, and it's kind of the biggest issue with this movie, is actually its clash of tone. Now, you can have both a mix of drama and upbeat comedy, but I felt like the upbeatness was trying to intervene in some of these more dramatic moments. I'll give you an example. There's a scene in the Rumble scene. I won't say what it is, you might know what it is, but I'm not going to spoil what it is. That is supposed to be a very impactful and sorrowful moment where you just see how the battle between the Jets and the Sharks has intervened within the peace of the community and all that because of this incident. But then they decided to play like a very that type of song in a dramatic scene in that scene, and I was just like, why? I mean, it would have been more impactful if you just made an emotional score. But the problem is that song, that sort of music choice, I think was in the original source material. I think it was in the original film, but I personally wasn't too fond of it because I just felt like it ruined the potential of this being an emotional moment. And then they cut to an upbeat song after the Rumble scene, and I'm also like, really? Either you could have used that song before the Rumble scene, or a little later after the Rumble scene. I think I would recommend it before the Rumble scene because you'll see that it was all happy at first, but now the Rumble happened and then it was like, oh no, this is bad. So basically I'm just asking myself, why? I mean, again, that might be a small nitpick to you, but for me it kind of bugged me. But overall, guys, despite those problems, I cannot deny that I had a blast watching West Side Story. This is a musical that kind of reinvents how musicals can still be good even to today's generation, because a lot of probably everything in this movie really, really works. The camera angles, the cinematography, the score, the musical numbers, the acting, the visuals, and our two lead characters, their actors, and relationship between each other are the standout hearts of the movie. And the whole West Side Story, well, story in general, sorry, I just have to make that pun, but overall, I love this movie. I will give it a 4.5 stars out of 5. It is a heck of a movie to watch, and if you love musicals, if you love West Side Story in general, then go see this movie. And if I were to watch the movie again, as I kind of put the pacing and the tone aside, and I don't find a problem with it in the future, I might actually say this movie might be a masterpiece. But for now standpoint, I still think it's amazing. It's one of the best movies of 2021, and I will definitely go see it again. But overall, what do you guys think of it? Because my opinion doesn't justify your opinion. Do you love West Side Story as much as I do, or were you bored by it and you felt like the Clash of Tones kind of ruined its potential? And what is your favourite romance musical? Let me know in the comment section below. Hope to get more reviews out soon. I do hope I can get some more reviews out before Christmas. I love Christmas. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Oh, I cannot wait to do more. But anyway, I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, doing videos, and singing a song to end this review. again, I know that was cliche and very lazy, but when push comes to shove, you need to be as cliche and lazy in order to end the review properly. Now, let's just end the review and move on.